About a year ago, we all woke up to the eerie news. Pro-Russian hacktivists targeted the Atlanta airport website. And then just a few months ago, a lot of us faced a weekend of frustration when we lost access to our school accounts due to a breach in the Fulton County School District. Now, these were not one-off incidents, as we've been observing cyber warfare at the global scale, from hackers, criminals, angry teenagers, and more. Since the start of the Russia-Ukraine conflict, we have been seeing the rise of hacktivists, a group that is turning their geopolitical agenda into cyber warfare of an unimaginable scale. On your programs, you'll see a picture of a live cyber threat map from checkpoint.com, showing the continuous barrage of attacks our cyber infrastructure is facing as we speak. Now, these attackers are not bound by geographical barriers, but instead they use insecure computers and smart devices as launch pads for the cyber attack. Which brings me to the topic of today's discussion. We might think that we are geographically distant from the physical war zones in Ukraine or Gaza, but the frontiers of cyber warfare are right in front of us, and we are all caught in the crossfire. This is a truly pivotal moment because our traditional views of physical security and First Amendment rights are colliding with the reality that is cyber warfare of the 21st century, and we are left with no choice: defend ourselves or perish. But cyber war isn't exclusive to the world stage. In fact, a lot of the time, cybercrime is even closer to home. Sometimes even the attackers are right behind your shoulders, in an attack known as shoulder surfing. Now, when you're working at a local library or coffee shop, do you expect that you could be unknowingly revealing your password? For most of us, the answer is no, and it certainly was for me. But shoulder surfing is a fairly common cyber attack, and it involves picking up someone's sensitive information due to proximity. This means it could be gleaned from a screen, overheard from a phone conversation, or even decoded from key presses. When I was in 7th grade, I was a victim of a shoulder surfing attack when a classmate of mine memorized my computer password as she saw me typing it in, and then used it to steal several assignments. Now, because shoulder surfing provides physical access to your password, there's really only one defense against it, which is multi-factor authentication. Multi-factor authentication combines 2 or more pieces of evidence to authenticate who you are and doesn't rely on password alone. The ordeal that I went through after the shoulder surfing incident, trying to prove my innocence, was what initially piqued my interest into the field of cybersecurity. From there, I continued my journey by enrolling in this National Cybersecurity Alliance, joining the cybersecurity pathway at my school, and attending various NSA-sponsored cybersecurity boot camps. And then in 2021, I formed the Cyber Defense Initiative, a student-led initiative to make sure others in the community do not fall victim to cybercrime. Through a series of blogs, lectures, and seminars, we aim to increase cybersecurity awareness and build cyber-safe communities. But in the words of Peter Drucker, you can't improve what you don't measure. And when I looked around for a tool that any commonplace individual could use to measure and improve their cybersecurity risk, I found that there were none. And so I built one, and it's called the Personal Cyber Risk Assessment Tool, or PCRAT for short. PCRAT quantifies cybersecurity risk through a series of questions and allows you to track your progress as you fix these vulnerabilities. This tool is free and available to everyone at cyberdefenseinitiative.org. But PCRAT isn't just about assessing risk. It's about empowering individuals to take control of their digital destiny. And so my next challenge was getting this message across to everyone in the community. The problem is that cybersecurity has to be a habit. It has to be something ingrained in our minds from childhood, the way saying please and thank you are. And so naturally, it made sense for us to begin with elementary school cybersecurity education. Additionally, elementary schoolers, with the rise of remote learning in the COVID-19 pandemic, are especially vulnerable to cybercrime, and their curiosity and innocence makes them so. And so we began doing seminars at elementary schools where we teach concepts like password security, how to detect phishing using multi-factor authentication, and how to stay safe on social media. At the end of these sessions, we asked the kids to take home the PCRAT tool to not only see their own cybersecurity risk, but that of their families. A few months later, we asked the teachers to send home a questionnaire to see if they noticed any improvements in their scores. Additionally, we provide them with a children's cyber book that I wrote called Cyberville Chronicles that helps reinforce this concept of how cybersecurity can be applied in our daily lives. Through this process of repeat, remind, and reinforce, we are building the next generation of cyber warriors and defenders. This unique approach of connecting with elementary school children not only helps them make cybersecurity a habit, but also brings the topic of cybersecurity to the kitchen table, aiding our broader goal of building cyber-safe communities. And our efforts don't just stop with elementary schools. We've also been working with the Girl Scouts of Greater Atlanta to help troops earn their cybersecurity badges, as well as with the Fulton County School District to introduce a monthly student-led cyber virtual hour to share tips with younger children. Now, in the context of cyber warfare of the 21st century, we are not helpless. But it's time to remember the words of Edmund Burke. The only thing necessary for the triumph of evil is for good men to do nothing. And so we must act now, following 4 very simple steps. 1, measure your cybersecurity risk using the PCRAT tool. 2, take corrective measures to reduce this risk, measures like employing multi-factor authentication. 3, raise cybersecurity awareness in the community. And 4, join or encourage others to join the cybersecurity workforce. Cyber Defense Initiative is already working to make sure our youngest generation takes cybersecurity seriously. But now it's time for everyone in the community to take it seriously in order to make our community safe and our world safer. Thank you.